banned out here means that, you know, them being on red side, they will get, as much as they don't get that first pick Corki, they can take 2 here, right? Choice of AD carries, they can pick up the Caitlyn, they can pick up the priority of jungler. There's such a wide range of options here that they can go towards. They can even just pick up the Gwen for bin if they're feeling so confident. But spoiled for choice is the way I describe it.
Very much so. And honestly, for Yuekai, this is a perfect champion. It's something that he can do massive amounts of damage, which we have seen multiple times in multiple series, and still look good. I will say, it's very early days. We have seen a lot more of RNG than certain other teams, but RNG seem to be doing what they do best, which is pick something for Gala all split long, and that thing seems to be Aphelios. He has just been playing that so consistently, so constantly, that it feels like it's just their go-to now because, again, IG or every other team in the league have to prioritize bans elsewhere.
Yeah, Aphelios Xin Zhao, very strong red side 1-2 that we often see. Xin Zhao kind of the cream of the crop in terms of junglers on the current patch, and Aphelios being prioritized by a lot of teams, able to be aggressive in lane, but still scales well.
I did 7 times so far this split.
He enjoys the champion.
He
IG,
does.
I think you want to match in terms of junglers. They go for the Lee Sin, which is there's sort of 4 high priority junglers and they opt for that one. I think here AD carry makes a lot of sense if you want to secure that now, but to be honest, there's a lot open available. I think you could let it slide and you could look for something like, if there's a top lane you want to prioritize, if you want to look towards the Gwen, maybe if it's a support, if you want to deny the Thresh. There's a lot of options here that it looks like they do want choice. They want to lock in the Caitlyn, maybe. No, they go for the Gwen, and I actually like this more, right? Corki Gwen, so broken in the late game, and they've secured those 2. But RNG, we talked about this in the first series, Jayce is kind of one of the few counters to Gwen who can punish her in the laning phase.
And something actually we never really mentioned there, as we had so much to cover in this very historic matchup. It's actually not it's Xiaoyueji in the bot side, so I'm curious to see how he's able to do. Again, this is a brand new bot lane. It's going up against the very veteran, I would say at this point, Gala versus Ming. So curious to see how this relatively new bot side does work out. They're going to have to deal with a couple of bans thrown their way because they're going to have to go against at least the Aphelios. I wouldn't mind seeing the Jinx ban as well, just to give you that ultra scaling in your back pocket. But again, the Caitlyn yet to be banned away as well. Lots of options here. And actually, just wanted to get your opinion. We are seeing, obviously, a lot of people are, started off the season with saying Caitlyn was absolutely broken, but RNG and a lot of other LPL teams have found out that if you just gank that lane very, very early with something like the Xin Zhao, you can take advantage of it.
I think that's the thing, right? Because of the TP changes, Caitlyn's been freed up to just push lane, crush the 2v2. You just have to make it not a 2v2, right? I think that's the thing, is that when TP changed, everyone was like, oh, we don't have a response to this, but there is responses. It just has to be measured. I do think in the right hands, Caitlyn can still be dominating, but I think RNG are confident they can deal with it. They will ban away the Jinx. Caitlyn available, Jhin available, so Xiaoyueji's got a fair amount of choices here. He's pretty comfortable, but you can see IG are targeting mid laners who have pressure. Syndra's been taken out. You could look towards the Victor potentially, but it's not really the mid laner that has that much pressure to roam down to sides that I'm super concerned about. Zoe is more what I'm talking about, that early prio that can allow Xiaohu to affect the map.
See where they want to go now. Look at all those bans into mid lane. LeBlanc, Vex, Syndra, Twisted Fate, Zoe. So many picks taken away. And now RNG, they could look to go with anything they really want right now. They have so many things on the board. RNG, again, Xiaohu I am not worried about. It's so hard to ban this guy out. And he goes towards Orianna, which historically is still one of his most played champions ever. Like, the guy just plays everything and always has.
Yeah, we're seeing quite a bit of Orianna right into the Corki. It's a good matchup. You can just sort of QW auto and trade down on him, and you'll really have an easy time. You'll have priority. So I like this pick, and you also scale incredibly well. IG will lock in that tried and tested duo of the Caitlyn Lux, that really strong bot lane. But for me, IG have great scaling, right? They have a bot lane they can play towards with that really strong duo. But for RNG, I can see them just really trying to make their life hell through bot. If they start to gank the Caitlyn Lux, things will become out of hand quickly. There's Ming on the Nautilus who can set up ganks very effectively. Yes, IG have these very painful scaling elements to deal with later in the game, but RNG have a lot of tools to make sure it never gets to that point. And they have a good lane matchup top, good lane matchup mid, and then bot lane, as long as they get ganks, should be good for them.
Should is the big word there, but they go with the Caitlyn look. So like you said, it should be a pretty easy pushing lane, but we have seen before in the past how good teams are, especially in the LPL, at just jumping in on that level 2 or getting a, you know, an early summoners out. I think it was like Nymera I was talking to on Twitter and saying teams are figuring out that because you're so far pushed up and you don't really have any natural escapes in the first few levels, it is very easy to punish something like a Lux or any real enchanter in that bot side. But the team's locked and loaded. IG got themselves a hell of a lot of late game scaling and not a bad early game either. So in my opinion, it's going to be on RNG to be the proactive ones to get themselves out onto the map and really make IG think about where they're going, what they're doing.
Yeah, I will say though, RNG still don't have a sort of a late game to really ignore, right? Jayce scales very well, can do this massive shock blast later on. Orianna and Aphelios are problematic on top of that. I just think Gwen and Corki are a little bit nuts, but I don't think, like, it's not like IG will just hit a certain point in the game. It's like, okay, we auto win. They still need to come out with a convincing game. But RNG, I think they have the early agency in this one. I think that's the important thing. So we'll look to see how it pans out and look to see what Jun can do. And if it is going to be Jun or bust.
We will wait and see. It's game 1 of this best of 3. We had a 2-0 earlier. We'll see how this one starts. Both RNG and IG wanting to send themselves into the 3rd week with a win. RNG keeping that momentum going after that first game lost against FBX, and IG really trying to see if they can get their season started. Only 1 win on the board for them. So both teams desperate to take the 2-0, get themselves into a nice thing. And my God, look how pretty that is.
That's so cool, honestly.
we are done with static top, you know, kind of like skylines. It's now animated skylines, and that's the next level observing. But now Bin gonna possibly find neny, who's on a bit of a journey right now. Has the easy level 1. Not really hard for them to win that one, as you can see there. The skip and slash, very, very easy. Should be skip and snip, but whatever. I digress. And yeah, very easy to get the vision down.
We actually saw the Shy do a similar thing in game 1 today, where like he does the loop around, and then if you're sitting in that tri-brush and Gwen dashes on you, her level 1's so strong, she'll just beat you up, force you out. We saw that happen to ZDZ, and he got chunked a little bit, had to be in a health pot. So then he going for a similar thing, but Bin, wise to it, doesn't get caught out. Just a little interesting. We always find these dynamics, particularly in bot lane and top lane, where like you try and cheese the other laner, find like a little bit of a health lead, find the jump on someone. So it's just interesting to see how these develop and how prepared laners can potentially be.
We'll see now, and already we start to see the power you get with that Caitlyn looks, and already neny and Bin taking a little bit of a trade. This is something that Bin relishes, though. Bin is one of those players that absolutely adores the 1v1, really wants to constantly going at it and limit testing. So if he can come out trumps with that, it is very much a good time. But now Xiaohu in a little bit of trouble here, does take an unfavorable trade just about against the Corki, and this is just common to see. You know that you've got the sustain with the biscuits, you've got yourself triple pot when you go with the longsword, so you're happy as Yuekai to take these trades constantly.
Honestly, typically we see Orianna out trading the Corki, but what Yuekai did really well was that he made the trade longer, right? You have strong bursty trades from Xiaohu. If you go QW auto, then you back off. You're going to be favorable. You have phase rush you can proc as well. But you saw just like the extended trade, right? Popping his E, getting the full Gatling gun off, and that's why the trade went in his favor. So pretty heads up play there. And it's only like a small micro thing, but it's still nice to see, right? Nice to see the back and forth and him not just giving up too much space in the matchup.
Not being allowed or allowing Xiaohu to bully him. You got to remember as well, last split, Yuekai was the sub mid laner behind crying on RNG. So is still very aware of what Xiaohu do. There would have been scrim, but he's in that way. He's in a little bit of trouble with that pushing bot side. It's very difficult here for RNG to secure it, but with all the summoner, or excuse me, all the spells missing there from Lucas. Lucas on the Lux, not able to make anything work, so they're just going to be able to take that first scuttle. Not a big deal, the double scuttle, but it does mean that the full camp clear should go over the side of Wei.
Yeah, Wei's fine, just clearing this up. I like the use of the priority bot, right? This is a lane that Jun should be relying on to move, to assist him. It's one who's going to have him in favor. He gets that skull, he'll go top side. He'll have to pick up the top skull as well, so a bit of advantage found between those junglers.
And then set me up now. Where do you want to see these two teams going? Let's have a look to the future. Let me see if you're a prophet, my friend. As we want to see, where do you want to see both these teams attacking, and where do you think they're going to find the most advantageous spots for them to make the most of these comps?
For RNG, it's bot lane, right? Bot lane is the one you want to be set up on consistently. You have the engage threat from the Nautilus against a Caitlyn Lux. Make things happen bot. We can see Wave's already down there waiting for something to happen. For Shun, you have a bit of choice. Bot lane is more of a lane you want to cover and protect more than necessarily set up a gank, but you can be there to counter gank. On the other side, though, you can look to punish the Jayce, right? If you set him behind in the matchup with Ghost available to the Gwen, you can potentially run him down. And on top of that, Jayce is a champion who's very volatile, right? If he's ahead, monstrous, absolutely take over a game. If he's behind, really just feels like a bit of nothing.
We'll see now if you're a prophet, if people do, if the teams are listening to your wise words from the sage. As we are going to have a Hex Rift coming in. Or not a Hex Rift, excuse me. First Dragon is going to be a Hex Dragon.
I wish we had a Hex Rift, man.
Yeah.
Honestly.
We hexing, baby. We hexing.
I love Hex Gates. They're my favorite thing they added to the preseason, man.
I love just the pure coin flip difference night and day between the two different dragons. Hex Drake, everyone liked that. We love this makes me smile every day. Chem Drake and Chem Rift, hate it. Whoever made this is the worst. It's like such a mad way of like two things came out and we've had completely opposite reactions from the community. It's honestly, it's impressive if nothing else.
It's really like the good twin and the evil twin.
Yeah. Right? It's a fun way to look at it. Now we can see Xiaohu doing exactly what you said he should be able to do. He's going to be able to get that advantage. And now with the level 6 here, Ming roaming up to try and maybe get something going for them. That's a great ward there to spot out Shun and Lucas, who were just roaming in around that Raptor pit. And that's something that I find with Lee Sin was a very innovative place to go. But now when you're on that red side, it's just something you have to ward because you cannot allow yourself to get caught out when you're pushing up.
I love the moves from Ming. So now mid lane is pretty covered in terms of vision control. If you look, they have control wards and both those side brushes. It allows Xiaohu to push his advantage in the lane without getting caught out by ganks necessarily because he has the vision cover. Wave once again heads towards the bot side. Make sure it's...
Oh, together they flash forward as well. They're trying to kill off this kill right now. The Ignite ticking. And that's going to be Ming getting first blood in that bot side. Great move and exactly what you wanted to see, Ox.
Yeah, beautiful. You find the engaged potential. You just burst out the Caitlyn, clean up on a kill, and then you can repeat that, right? You now have a flashless Caitlyn. It's an easy target to set up on. This is definitely a positive start from RNG. More of the same.
More of the same. They didn't, and you can see just how quick they were with that reaction, and that means they're going to get the push in the bot side. Bin is pretty damn free to say, look, I know I can go a little bit aggressive and take all this farm that I need to take. And let's have a look at the replay here, and it just looks like, again, time and time again, we see with Ming, light binding's down. Here's an opportunity here. They need to catch out Yuekai, or excuse me, they need to catch out Xiaoyueji, and they do.
And the critical thing is he waited until he was firing the Peacemaker, right? And at that point, he's locked in the animation. He can't net away. It was very good timing in that regard because it's the one moment where he can't use his bit of mobility to escape. So great timing to find that punish. Now, we do see Ming hovering on the top side, just making sure that Bin is in a comfortable position, making sure that nothing untoward happens. He will get spotted out on this ward here. The thing is, that's the thing with the Caitlyn Lux, right? You can apply pressure bot lane, but you can't really set anything up. Gala's pretty comfortable and should just be able to clear this wave out as long as he doesn't get caught by a binding.
And that's the big if, because those light bindings are infuriating. I'm sure you have plenty of experience with them, as everyone else has. It's just such an annoying bot side, as we can see Shun working maybe towards this top lane. They don't have vision of exactly where he is, but Bin has an idea that something is happening. There's the flash kick, not quite going to get him all the way into neny, and the flash away, but Shun was wise to the idea. And again, Shun or bust, IG on the board.
Yeah, really nice play. Honestly, love to see it. Slick move over, didn't give Bin the opportunity.
Yuekai, that was so well calculated. Didn't flash, knew he could tank up the turret, or excuse me, the ultimate.
Oh, we might find him there if he just...
he's just recalling. He got out. He didn't miss. He got out. He was just a little bit too slow. So
you know what? I'm gonna say I think he might have missed as well because I was a little bit off the mark from where he was. I think the hitbox might not connect, but regardless,
we'll have a replay. I'm sure we will definitely have a replay.
He got away. The big thing is he got away.
I bet you at dinner that he didn't miss it and the recall got out.
All right. All right, sure. We'll have a look. We'll have a look if we see it. If we're gonna see it this replay. By the way, you know, I said top lane is lane you can definitely gank. You burn the flash off the Jayce, so now let's have the kill potential for the Gwen a bit more freely. And on top of that, if you set the Jayce behind, it's going to be advantageous. Mid lane is going in favor of Xiaohu, right? He's expecting this matchup. He's applying some pressure to Corki, which is quite difficult to do. But now RNG are fishing. Oh, great grab.
Great hook there, but you can see just how hard it is to lock people down. They will get the Moonlight Vigil, and they will trade it off for the ace in the hole, but now they know that Wei is here. Wei has the Crescent Guard to try and separate them out. Xiaoyueji in a hell of a lot of trouble. The hook will completely miss. The Light Binding stops the Nautilus from going in, but it does not matter because Gala gets the first kill. They will force the flash out of Lucas as well, and this bot lane is just being repeatedly hit over and over again by RNG.
Yeah, Lucas surviving isn't a big deal. The main thing is you kill the AD carry, you deny the farm from the Caitlyn, and this is exactly what RNG needed to do around this lane. This lane is great for IG if they're on ganks, but as soon as they start to come in, RNG find favor.
Yeah, we got to see the package was used into that mid lane, forced the flash out of Xiaohu, so there was why that summoner is now down. But with the pressure you have bot side, being able to push that in, knowing you have just absolutely full reign, you can take that first dragon. That's going to go over to the side of RNG. Next dragon is going to be a mountain, so Soul not going to be either of those two. And ooh, Shockwave doesn't quite land there, and that's going to be the summoner down for Yuekai, or excuse me, for Xiaohu over Yuekai.
Yeah, still fishing, but I like Xiaohu is applying pressure in this lane, but we see Shun finding success, right? Burn the flash mid, managed to get that play out the top lane. He's there on the top side, allowing neny to crash the wave, apply some pressure, get a plate. But still, I'm concerned about this bot lane, right? You pick Caitlyn Lux because you want to get a significant lead, and RNG are the ones who've been able to shut down. Gala is now at 800 gold up in the matchup, and if Aphelios gets fed, it is going to become problematic.
It really, really is, and that's the adaptation we're seeing from a lot of teams. Again, like we talked about, the Caitlyn was seen as this OP, never let through, you just can't let it have its own day, but again, with metas and with the way teams are, they will find opportunities, they will find ways of making it work for them, and it feels like Caitlyn isn't just that catch-all anymore. And speaking of catch-all, might be Bin being caught out. We're going to see him maybe use the To the Skies, and as soon as he does, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Shun already making his way towards that top side. They will get the re-kill off, and actually just gonna see if he stops them off right here. neny waiting till the last absolute possible second. Gonna use the ultimate there. We can see him jumping into the skies, gets the knockback. neny not really getting the best of trades and has to walk away, almost dropping down. Not really the trade you want to be seeing there for neny in the top side.
Oh, that was really desperate, honestly. There was a massive wave as well that he just ignored. That just died to the turret. So he missed out a ton of farm. You can see there's a pretty significant chest lead. Oh.
Nearly getting on top of there, but you can see Ming Spider-Manning his way over. Now Xiaoyueji in a little bit of trouble. He's going to get locked down there by the auto attack passive. Has to flash himself away. They do use the ultimate, but now the rest of IG are here. There's the ace in the hole. You needed to block that one way for your support. Ming does go down. There's a shockwave just to disengage, but they do land a sonic wave. They're trying to see if they can do something more. They almost get down on top of Shun, but another great light binding there on the Xiaohu means that Shun is not done. And IG come out with two quick kills.
This is for sure not a bust game. Shun is on point, landing these sonic waves, cleaning up the kills, and honestly, RNG just a little bit overzealous, stepped up too far. They're like, you know, it's that reiteration. We have to punish this bot lane. We have to punish this bot lane. They go way too deep, and it was just an overreach, right? They didn't have the backup of the team. They didn't have the backup of Xiaohu and Gala initially, and as a result, IG clean up in the skirmish. We now have a 3-0-1 Lee Sin with that gold ranker finish. Now, Yuekai might be in a bit of trouble here.
Yeah, he has flash, so I think he's just going to be able to get it away from them. Yep, doesn't even need it. Yuekai knows very well how Ming operates on this Nautilus and was able to get himself away. That being said, despite all that's said and done, it's still about 1,000 gold lead for RNG. They still have massive advantage here for this Aphelios, who's no longer 800 gold ahead. He's nearly 1,800 gold ahead. So it's just getting a little bit worse for them. They need to find an opportunity here, and Shun's running out on this Rift Herald, as you can see, so he has to drop that immediately bot.
Yeah, and honestly, it's so bad sitting on the Rift Herald for a long time on Lee Sin because you don't have access to your ward or ward hop, right? Xiaoyueji will be able to get in range, so he picks up the plates there. So it's still a decent Herald. It's not the best, but you get the 2 plates, you get it on someone you want. That's fine. We'll get a replay of that skirmish, and it's just, this is a very big overcommit, right? Wei is alone here against 2, isn't able to get on them instantly, and then Ming, like, look how deep they are. Look at the mini map where Gala and Xiaohu are. They are so far away. They burn everything to get in range, and it's like, well, Now there's 4 members of IG in position. We see Ming block the ultimate to trying to keep Wei alive, but it's just not enough. The sonic waves keep connecting, keep going in, and in this situation, Xiaohu ends up overstaying. And speaking of overstaying, Bin just gets caught out as well. This is a great game from Shun. He's really rolling the 6 on this one.
And you mean you highlighted it in the pregame, Shun or bust, and Shun has come in with a vengeance, with a fire in his belly to say, I am going to take away this win from RNG. 4-0 and 100% kill participation in the early game. Wei is just here to try and clear out this wave. Shouldn't be able to do much more against neny's Gwen. And this is where the game gets a little bit scary. This is where this game starts to get a little bit away from you. You're now relying on something like Gala, who is very far ahead, to start making plays alongside Ming to get RNG back into this game.
Yeah, and I mean, RNG still have strong scaling around the composition, right? And they still have a pretty good team fight. But I'm seeing a Gwen who's taking this tower, who's going to be pretty comfortable. I'm seeing Yuekai who's in a rough lane, but is scaling up comfortably. And Xiaoyueji is now in a much better position than he was before. So overall, IG, things are looking a bit rough at the start, but they have bounced back significantly. And now, just slightly behind in gold, they're setting up for this dragon. I think Yuekai should have backed the package by now. I didn't get to see it because I was looking at the replay, but I think he should have it here. Yeah, he does. The fight's kicking off.
Here we go. They're going to drop down the Nautilus ultimate and the Crescent Guard. There's going to be a shockwave only landing onto one. They're going to use the Light Singularity as well, or soon be the final spark to get down that harassment. Wei in a lot of trouble, but he has nowhere to go, and he will fall. Gala goes aggressive, and Gala finds the kill. They'll block out the ace in the hole, but after all said and done, you lost your jungler. You cannot contest around the dragon, and that should just be the dragon going over the side of IG regardless.
Yeah, Yuekai is just pumping the damage numbers with that equalizers. Hit 4 members with it and burn them down. A massive amount of damage. Just easily secures the dragon, right? They were so low, there's no way they're going to contest it, especially because we saw Wei go down. But we do see Gala able to turn things around. And this is kind of how the Aphelios is playing at the moment, right? With Gale Force, with Press the Attack, you go in and you burst down squishy targets, able to find the Corki there. But ultimately, I think IG still happy with how that panned out.
Very happy, I would say, as we can see as well on the top side. Bin got the push into the top lane, was able to answer back for that turret. So 2 turrets to 1, a dragon apiece, 6 kills to 3 to IG, but despite all that, still a slight gold lead there for RNG. And let's have a look at how this fight goes, because that package, like you said, just able to do so much at separating everybody and also doing so much damage.
Yeah, I mean, didn't actually catch Wei with a burn, but Gala, Ming, and Xiaohu all get toasted by it and just have to retreat. They then catch out Wei. He ends up going down a rocket, and it's just like there's no way you can contest that. But Gala does manage to dash in and get the kill after his initial route setup. So positive play from him. Yeah, a lot burn, in fairness, a lot burn. But the thing is, his flash will be back up for the next dragon, so it's not too concerning. That is literally how the Aphelios has to play this game, right? When you're faced against things like Caitlyn, Lux, Corki, you can't just sit back and be that face melter. You have to get in people's faces and melt them. So still melt faces, just differently.
You can't sit back and face melt. You got to go aggressive and face melt. I like it. Well, speaking of going aggressive, RNG punishing the fact that IG went for that Rift Herald and committed quite a few members to it. So that's not only 1 tower, it's 2 towers and a tier 2 at that. So already we're seeing a level advantage for Bin. We're already going to see them trade it back down into the top side. So there will be an answer here for the side of IG, but very quick macro decisions coming out from both sides. Tit for tat, they want to try and put out as much as they can to get as much of an advantage as they can.
Feels like RNG have been pretty sharp on like setting up ideal situations in the side lanes. So Bin's getting more farms, so he's able to pick up these towers, going uncontested, because IG keep feeling like, you know, they need a group, and then neny ends up isolated, gets poked out, and that's where Bin can really flourish. And so despite the fact we have a kill lead for IG, RNG are up in gold. And if you look across the board, we see Bin up in farm, Xiaohu up in farm, Gala up in farm as well. They've managed to accrue this advantage because of how they've played the lanes out and because of how they've picked up farm in the side, whereas it's really IG who've done well in the skirmish. It's kind of worrying that despite that, they're still down in gold.
That's the big thing. It's the gold that is keeping RNG at just keeping the pace. And you know, already, again, 100% kill participation here from Shun, 4-0 and 2, doing fantastically. Just finished off his Hysterics gauge, so going to have that extra little bit of survivability. And funny thing is, despite being 0-2 for Bin, he's about 35 CS up. He is actually still winning out on this matchup. He's still a level up on neny, and that's just a testament to how much power you can get with this Jayce. They put in so many resources to try and put him down, and he's still ahead.
Yeah, and the thing is, he's going to be such a monster in the later stages, especially when RNG are generally kind of, you know, medium to short range, apart from the Jayce Shock Blast. If you land a big one onto like the Corki or the Caitlyn, it can be really problematic. And Bim will just one-shot the waves, throw down some poke on an neny and walk off, and there's not really much that can be done, especially because, like, in this matchup, you can get harassed down by Jayce, but because he has phase rush, he can easily just get away from you as well. It's so hard to stay on him. That's why typically Gwen will take Ghost to stay on her target in sort of duels and extended lanes, and Bin just isn't gonna let that happen.
Is not, and curious to know, I don't know if that graphic is popping up on the I think it's damage maybe, or possibly
I think that's the gold icon, the little L.
Maybe
top,
the,
right?
oh yes, you're right. So maybe it's gold advantage. So you're right. It was about 3,600 in favor of. It's a gold. That's what's been told by my director. As thank you very much,
I think it's gold
Shelly.
sources though. I don't think it's advantage necessarily. I think it's like where he got gold. But,
Yeah,
you know, we
maybe,
can only
but-
speculate. My Chinese isn't quite up to scratch.
How dare us? How dare we? As Bin now jumps onto neny, who now sees an opportunity maybe to go ham on him, and that's going to be the flash burnt. Again, this Gwen with the Riftmaker becoming a bit of an issue. Ming going to go and use the ultimate over the wall and use his own little dredge line. They'll jump on top of him to the skies and back to the fountain. That's RNG finding themselves a nice little quick kill. Very well played there by RNG.
Yeah, neny finding the window to run him down when they're both healthy. He hasn't got a chance to get poked out though, but Bin manages to get away, pulls in reinforcements, turns it around. Good execution from RNG. It's starting to feel a little bit tenuous right now. I keep trying to group up mid and apply some pressure. You have to be concerned, right? If Engage comes in, your Caitlyn looks can easily be picked off. Wei is hovering around the side, and we see Xiaohu moving over. They need to back away.
All right, dragon spawning in 30 seconds or a little bit underneath it. How do you approach this now as IG? Where do you look to try and make this one work for you? As I say that,
Not
Lucas
like that.
is already dead. Never mind. They got the pick. You can't even contest it. We'll talk
Yeah.
about that next dragon.
Yeah, so don't do that is step one, right? Step two,
Hindsight's
well,
2020.
that's what I'm here for. That's why you brought me onto the LPL casting team, that can provide the insights like that.
Yeah, the
Yeah, but-
beautiful past tense insights of like, don't do that, but do this.
Yeah, well, I think the critical thing is there is that pick potential. You really needed Yuekai and neny to be there, right? The package is available, is such a powerful tool. Neny as well wasn't actually alive, so they know there's no threat of the Gwen keeping in. This is when they're in an advantage, and Lucas just disrespects the ball, just doesn't think about it, right?
5-level difference between that Lux and Orianna. Like,
bit rough.
what did you expect was gonna happen? Oh my god.
I don't think he did expect it, right? I don't think he
That's
saw the
true.
ball on the ground. A little bit rough. A little bit rough, honestly. An RNG 2 dragons in pocket. It's still a while away from Soul, so it's not too concerning, but you're starting to see the threat, right? The thing is with like the Corki, with the Caitlyn, with the Lux, they function well when everyone is a healthy distance away. They really like their personal space, and RNG are doing their best to not give them any.
Vex is not in the game, but like you said, personal space is the name of the game right now. And that's the big thing. You've got a Caitlyn Lux and a Corki. You're looking to harass from the side. You're looking to set people up and away. I thought he had the package there, and I was like, oh god.
I was about to flip out.
Mauled, he'll be mauled.
I lost it.
He would have lost it. He's like, I just hear like a Discord like Birdoo, and it's just like, wait, where did he go? But yeah, like again, you're looking at this team, you're looking at these champions, and you're saying that IG need to be bringing down the health bars at least to about 2/3 before they look to try and make a fight work with neny, and it's just not really happening, or rather, RNG are not allowing that to happen as we move further and further into the mid to late game.
And now they're in control, right? They have the lead. They have that mid-tier 1 down. It's very easy for them to push the waves in, move through the Baron area, sweep out the vision, and they can just repeat this, right? Push mid, rotate over, make sure there's no vision going through, and then it just forces eventually IG might have to push into check, and that's when you get the pick. That's when you translate.
We'll wait to see where they want to go right now. 3 minutes till Dragon spawns. There's no real reason here for RNG to check down towards this bot side. No real reason for them to overextend and push. They're going to have to deal with that side lane and bot lane. They've already got Xiaohu in top on the minimap to push in top lane. Already got the Shadow Flame as well, so that pen becoming a bit ridiculous. Yuekai is opting into a Hex Drinker as well, so he's trying to deny a lot of that magic damage. And I say a lot of that magic damage, it's just Xiaohu. He just needs to survive the burst from the shockwave, and that's enough for him to be scared.
I'm pretty sure he had that in lane. I think there was like a lane pickup to have early. It's what normally happens is like Corki does obviously a ton of magic damage and the pen's really nice, but he scales better with raw AD. So often like I've seen more Mortius picked up for the AD factor and the defensive aspect. I've seen even Death Stance picked up because obviously it's good against AD threats and gives you a lot of AD. So it's interesting to see how like the Corki build has developed a bit to add like a defensive element, not just going for the pure poke. But yeah, I mean, at this point, RNG, it's up to them to set up this dragon, and it's up to IG. They need to find a favorable fight that works for them.
I just noticed as well, neny actually went with the lethal tempo onto the Gwen and top side. So if they're able to find an extended fight, we'll get extended range. So curious to see how well or not well that works out for the Gwen. I know the Freak and from the LCS, it prefers the Conqueror, but this is something that you can alternate to.
I think it's really strong in. I think Conquerors tends to be better in team fights, right? Because once you stack it, it adds onto your ult and you can just do a ton of damage. Lethal tempo is generally better in the 1v1 because especially early you can stack up that attack speed with your E and just end up winning out, you know, in those sort of skirmish situations. But I think both are fine. I don't think that's really going to be the difference maker here.
I like to pick out little nuanced things.
It's always nice. I love talking about little nuanced things. I feel like that's something I spend a lot of time doing, but I feel like now minute 4 dragon, this is where the setup needs to start to come in. So there's still decent control from RNG towards the Baron. It's important to mention just in case they try and threaten it, but there is some vision over there. I believe the scuttle has been secured by AG, so they don't need to worry too much. And now it's about getting control over the dragon area. Mid wave has been neutralized, so now RNG are moving and looking to fight over this next wave, right? They want to get the shove in. They want to then be able to move through the river and just lock IG out.
Look at the top right. Look at that little ward, that little sneaky little pink ward that snuck itself in. So you'll have the package and a potential flank here for both neny and Yuekai. So RNG, do they look to try and just brute force this and do IG allow it? They're pushing forward. They still haven't got that one. Very important to note on the minimap, top left, just behind everyone of RNG, there is a fantastic ward. They got rid of it. They dropped down a pink. No, you had a TP ward. Oh, I'm so sad. IG will get caught out now as Yuekai gets the shockwave right to the face. They're going to use the final spark to see if they can start pushing these health bars down. And now they fully engage. They go in with the package and they try to make this one work. But you can see already with the Crescent Guard that Xin Zhao is just not going down. And neny will fall at the trade, though, of top laner for jungler. But you've got red, white, boom! Look at the damage from the accelerated shock blast. Yuekai and Lucas are the only two left alive, and they have to back away, and they don't care about Dragon right now. RNG are going to go straight down for Baron.
IG got so low there, and it really looked like, you know, okay, they're getting out. There's Corki to poke, and the shock blast just comes in and just decimates them. It's enough. Way may not be up, but they don't need him. They have more than enough damage to be able to pick up this Baron. Dragon's gonna left unattended. I think Xiaoyueji might just pick it up and sell, but Baron is the big reward. RNG clutching that one out.
Big win, and they get the Baron. That means they're going to be able to have that very prominent split push. They're going to be able to push in these waves. Gala just picks up his Infinity Edge, so if he wasn't scary already, he is very much now. They're going. Oh god, I thought that was from the other side. I don't know why. From my head, I've seen too many of those stolen.
His own AD carry.
What a Chad gamer. But there, Lucas already down to 1/3 HP, and we haven't even gotten to the fight yet.
Yeah, so the shockwave comes in, but Ming's not in position to follow. They're trying to force the package, and then they end up getting forced and crowded into this poke. But critically, Xiaohu flashes out. The package doesn't actually connect onto anyone that significant. Bin does get chunked, but like, look at the damage coming in return because everyone was poked before. And watch this shock blast from Bin. Oh my god, it's so much damage. You guys lucky he didn't get caught by it, but not lucky enough to avoid the wrath of Gala. And now, oh, fight breaking out.
They're gonna go and chop at Ming. Ming's in a lot of trouble. Ming is dead, and not quite sure exactly how that one happened. I think Ming tried to go a little bit too far forward with the dredge line and just got caught. So that means he loses his life and loses his Baron buff. Bin pushing in the top side, picks up a tier 2 and has to back away. So this is going to delay that Baron buff play from the side of RNG, but not so significantly that they shouldn't be able to get a lot out of it.
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, they are still substantially ahead, but Dragon Souls could be a while away for either team at this point because that one was secured by IG. If RNG don't get much from this Baron, we could see the game just stalling out longer. And this goal lead is really significant now, but the longer the game goes on, the less and less significant it'll be. Oh, you gotta be so cautious, man. Gala is fishing for these moments.
You can tell just with the way the game is front loaded right now, the damage that you can get off so quickly with any of these carries, these massive late game threats, it does make us double take and kind of go, what's happening?
I just find it so funny that, like, you know, we had Aphelios used to be this pick where, like, you'd sit back, everyone would run into you, and you just melt them. And now it's just like, you're literally an assassin. It's like, I mean, Gala played so much Kai'Sa. It's like he's playing it like Kai'Sa, right? You just dash in and look to one-shot someone. I
mean, I'm pretty partial to the Gala Kai'Sa. Can't tell exactly why, but it makes me happy. It makes me see that, you know, this guy is not afraid and he is becoming a fantastic successor. Wow, neny taking such a chunk, has no magic resistance. With that magic pen you're able to get from the Shadow Flame, it just becomes such a nuisance. But again, when you're able to get that aggressive, when you're able to put yourself into such a position that, you know, Gala is no longer in Uzi's shoes or in Uzi's shadow. Gala is the AD carry for RNG, and you have to respect him.
Absolutely. You just, I mean, pen items are so broken, I'm going to say that, but there's so many threats on this side. There's so much poke ability, there's so much zone of potential, and RNG easy pick. Oh, I mean, just as I'm saying. How I was complaining about Corki after the previous game. How Jayce, man? How illegal is poke?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you, like, to every single time I play with my friends, they're saying this thing is broken, that thing is broken. If everything's broken, nothing is broken. That's how this one works.
Broken. Poke is unfun to play against.
It is.
And annoying. And there's too much magic pen and lethality, and that's my statement. But yeah. We see
that's your story and you're sticking to it.
I think Ming just fishing a little bit too far forward, you know.
Yeah, wasn't really prepared.
Too close to the tower. Not really going to pay off in that situation. But yeah, I will reiterate my point. Poke is broken. And we've kind of seen that being the dictating thing here, right? In that last fight, the one where RNG got the Baron off the back of it, it really came down to Bin landing those big shot blasts consistently. And the thing is, there's so many squishy members you can just nuke on both sides, to be honest. If we see the poke connecting, that's where the real threat is. And of course, Corki can fire out his poke more frequently than Jayce, but Jayce is just so hard to avoid in such a long range.
Such a long range. Shun now walking in, trying to see if he can get a little bit of that vision taken away. Minute 10 until Dragon spawns. It is about a 6,000, maybe 6,500 gold lead in favor of RNG, and they're coming back onto the rift. Shun needs to be so careful. Does have the safeguard to keep himself safe. Not quite sure what Ming's fishing for, but he did catch himself something. Shockwave lands, and they get themselves the hook down, immediately jumping in. Bin takes down all of that damage. You can see him already coming in. There's the double, triple. They may just want to try and give Bin a penta. No! Gala says absolutely not. I'm the only one who's allowed to have a pentakill here, but they will end up getting a full house, trips upon double, and that's going to be all 5 dead. Clean ace for RNG, and out of nowhere the game is over.
Actually could have been a penner as well, and Gala goes and denies it. Bit of a scumbag move. We see RNG 10,000 gold ahead at the end of the game, convincingly close it out. And again, it's just they find their way into the fight. They find the poke. Felt like the gold lead was a bit too much to deal with, and that's the thing, right? As much as the Corki, the Gwen were powerful, this Caitlyn Lux lane didn't really achieve what it wanted to, and we saw the momentum was just never really there for IG. Despite the fact John had such a good early game, the game as a whole didn't go in their favor. More towers in favor for RNG, and then when it came to those fights, the poke was laying down, the engages were there. It was just crisp play from RNG.
And that's the big thing, is that we mentioned right at the start of this series, Shun or bust. But you can't just rely on one carry. We have seen it multiple times in multiple iterations throughout the LPL's history, that you have to have carries in every single role. And it feels like RNG right now are getting to that point. Mid lane, top lane, their bot lane is looking super solid. Jungle as well. We've seen Wave pop off. This feels like it's becoming a team that can just carry and win from any particular position. It does not matter. And for IG, yes, the Lee Sin got ahead. Yes, you looked fantastic. But if no one's able to capitalize off that, Lee Sin doesn't really do a lot in those mid to late game team fights.
That's the problem, is that Shun got ahead specifically, but he didn't get his lane as ahead, right? Wei actually went and made sure that Gala was fed. He was the one who went bot and found a lead there, right? I think that's the difference, is the fact that, you know, the bot lane suffered so much for IG, and despite the fact we saw cleanups on the skirmishes, it was still the Caitlyn falling behind, not able to lane well. You need to provide that cover, and then as things transgressed in the mid game, it felt like RNG had a better read of the map. They knew how to spread people out just to accrue resources, and it's like, it's this slow build up of a lead, and yes, there were mistakes, but eventually they just shot ahead. And I mean, look at the damage Bin managed to deal there. He's just insane. But I think the main comparison is, look at the bot lane of IG, right? Barely had any damage coming out from the Caitlyn. Lux almost doing more.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. Lux almost doing more than the Caitlyn, and it comes down to the fact that I feel like Caitlyn is no longer one of those perma-ban picks, in my opinion, right now. There are maybe certain teams you want to ban that away from, maybe like the likes of EDG or even hell Huanfeng, but it does feel like this is no longer a blind pickable bot lane you can go into. This feels there's too many answers now into the Lux, and you don't get as much of a benefit. So very curious to see how the meta develops. I feel like this is going to, you know, continue on as we move out throughout the split and throughout all the different patches. But big win there for RNG. It took a little bit of a while. They had a bit of a shaky early game, but honestly, that's probably the best we've looked from the RNG of Lux so far this split. And especially after that maybe 10-15 minute mark, they just looked solid, and it didn't really feel like they were ever going to lose the game.
Yeah, and I think the thing for me with the Lux Caitlyn bot lane is, you know, this lane works very well into enchanters because you have great kill threat, and you also scale very well. Into things like the Nautilus, it's risky, right? Because as I said, if ganks come down bot, you will have a problem, and that's the thing. You have to play for your Cait Lux. If you're gonna pick it, it has to be your primary focus, and it wasn't really there for IG. So I definitely think teams can make it work, but IG back to the drawing board.
Back to the drawing board. They have a little bit of time before that, and so do you. We're going to send it to a quick break, and when we return, we will hopefully have picks and bans for Game 2 very, very shortly after that. So we'll see you guys very